Imagine a people so distinct in appearance, faith, and courage that wherever they walk in the world, they carry the weight of centuries of struggle and pride on their shoulders. Picture the tall figure in a turban, his uncut hair flowing beneath, his steel bracelet catching the light, and at his side, the curved blade of the Kirpaner weapon, not of conquest, but of justice. This is the Sikh. Born in the fertile plains of Punjab, shaped by the fire of persecution, and bound together by a faith that preaches equality, service, and fearlessness. Yet, for all their visibility, the Sikhs are among the most misunderstood communities on earth. Mistaken for Hindus, targeted in the West as Muslims, reduced to stereotypes by those who have never taken the time to understand. But behind that striking image lies one of the most remarkable journeys in human history, a story of saints and soldiers, poets and martyrs, visionaries and rebels who refused to bow to kings or emperors. To understand the Sikhs, we must begin where it all started. The Punjab, the land of 5 rivers, a land split today between India and Pakistan, but for centuries, a crossroads of civilizations. By the late 15th century, Punjab was a place of tension and transformation. The Delhi Sultanate, a Muslim dynasty of Turkic origin, ruled over a vast Hindu majority. 2 religious movements sought to heal this divide. On the Islamic side, Sufi mystics preached love, music, and devotion, offering a gentler face of Islam to local converts. On the Hindu side, the Bhakti movement challenged the rigid caste system, opening its arms to all, even Muslims. It was in this world where faiths collided, where traditions clashed, where ordinary people longed for something new, that a boy named Nanak was born in 1469. From the beginning, Nanak was different. He had a sharp mind, a poet's gift, and a restless spirit. As a young man, he worked for a Muslim governor in Tampa, balancing accounts by day but searching for something deeper by night. Then came the moment that would change everything. One morning, as he bathed in a river, Nanak disappeared beneath the water. His family thought him drowned, but 3 days later, he emerged, eyes blazing with revelation. The first words he spoke stunned everyone. There is no Hindu. There is no Muslim. There is only God. Nanak rejected the divisions that had defined India for millennia. To him, all humans were equal, bound by the same divine reality. He gave up his worldly possessions and set out on a journey across Asia from Sri Lanka to Tibet, even to Mecca itself, spreading his message of unity, service, and devotion. By the time he settled in Kartapa, he had gathered a following. They called themselves his Sikh disciples. When he died in 1539, he left behind not just a community, but the seed of a new faith. For the next 2 centuries, this faith was shaped by 9 more gurus, each adding their own chapter to the Sikh story. Guru Angad gave them a script, Gurmukhi, so their words could not be erased. Guru Amar Das struck at the heart of old customs, ending the seclusion of women, forbidding widow burning, and forcing caste-bound Brahmins to sit side by side with peasants in the communal langar, where food was shared equally. Guru Ram Das founded Amritsar, laying the foundation for what would become the Golden Temple, the beating heart of Sikh devotion. And their Emperor Akbar relations between Sikhs and the Mughal state were even cordial. The story is told of Akbar himself humbly sitting cross-legged in the langar, eating beside the poor, impressed by the Guru's refusal to treat even the emperor as more than a man. But peace did not last. In 1606, under Jahangir, the 5th Guru, Arjan Dev, was arrested and executed, roasted alive on a hot iron plate. His crime, according to Mughal chronicles, was aiding a rebellious prince. To Sikhs, his only crime was refusing to bend to imperial arrogance. His son, Guru Hargobind, answered in steel. He donned swords, one for spiritual authority, one for temporal power, and raised an army. The Sikh commune became a Sikh militia, its members learning that compassion without strength was a death sentence. They clashed with Mughal troops, in bloody battles, fought off sieges, and survived by wit and valor. Over time, their identity hardened. They were no longer just seekers of God, they were lions of Punjab, ready to fight for their right to exist. The 9th Guru, Tegh Bahadur, carried that defiance to the gallows. When Kashmiri Brahmins begged for help against forced conversions, he offered his head for theirs. In 1675, he was dragged to Delhi and beheaded. His young son Gobind Singh witnessed the brutality and vowed the Sikhs would never again be so vulnerable. In 1699, at Anandpur, he called his people together. Before the crowd, he drew his sword and demanded a sacrifice. One by one, 5 men stepped forward, ready to die. Instead of killing them, Gobind Singh revealed them alive, clothed in new garments, transformed. They were the Panjipyar of the five beloved ones, first members of the Khalsa, a brotherhood of saint soldiers bound to God, to justice, and to one another. From that day, Sikhs bore new names: men as Singh, lions; women as Kaur, princesses. They carried the 5 Ks, uncut hair, a comb, a steel bracelet, a simple undergarment, and the curb. These were not symbols of ritual, but a uniform of defiance. The Khalsa was born to stand tall against tyranny. When the last guru fell in 1708, stabbed by assassins, leadership did not pass to another man, but to the eternal scripture, the Guru Granth Sahib. The word of the gurus would guide the Sikhs forever, but the Khalsa would defend them in the flesh. And defend they did. Banda Singh Bahadur rose up, carved out the first Sikh state, only to fall to Mughal vengeance. The Sikhs were hunted like animals, bounties placed on their heads, families slaughtered in the markets of Lahore. Yet in the hills and forests, they endured. They struck back in lightning raids, gathered secretly at Amritsar, and kept the flame alive. Again and again, empires tried to stamp them out. Persians under Nader Shah, Afghans under Ahmad Shah Durrani, and the crumbling Mughals of Delhi all clashed with the Sikhs. And yet, the Sikhs endured each blow, forging them harder, each persecution strengthening their resolve. From that crucible of suffering rose Maharaja Ranjit Singh, the Lion of Lahore, who in the early 19th century built the Sikh Empire, a kingdom of tolerance, where Hindus, Muslims, and Sikhs served together, where European officers drilled Sikh regiments, and where the Golden Temple gleamed in splendor. Though the empire would eventually fall to the British, the Sikh spirit never bent. Under colonial rule, Sikhs became a backbone of the Indian army. In both world wars, they fought on distant fronts: France, Gallipoli, Burma, earning a reputation for unmatched bravery. And when India sought its independence, Sikhs marched, protested, and sacrificed alongside Hindus and Muslims alike. The story of the Sikhs did not end with empire or partition. In modern India, they have faced new trials: violence in the 1980s, political unrest, and painful misunderstandings abroad. And yet, through it all, they remain what they have always been: a people of faith, of resilience, of fearlessness, a people who serve free meals to millions in gurdwaras around the world, who still wear the turban as a crown, and who carry the kirpan not as a weapon of conquest, but as a reminder that justice is sacred. The history of the Sikhs is the history of resistance. It is the history of a community that has refused, for 500 years, to let anyone else define who they are. From Nanak's vision of oneness, to Gobind Singh's brotherhood of lions, from the Golden Temple to the fields of Flanders, the Sikhs stand as living proof that faith and courage, when bound together, can survive the might of emperors and the cruelty of centuries. If you've stayed with us through this journey, I invite you to reflect what other community has walked through so much fire and yet emerged with such grace. Share your thoughts in the comments, and if you want more deep dives into the epic, untold stories of world history, make sure to subscribe. Because this was the story of the Lions of Punjab. The story of the Sikh Empire does not begin with palaces or crowns, but with blood and resistance. In 1709, Banda Singh Bahadur, a devoted disciple of Guru Gobind Singh, rose against the mighty Mughal Empire. His rebellion was not just about battles and swords, it was a social revolution. For the first time in centuries, land was taken from oppressive landlords and handed to the peasants who tilled it. To the downtrodden farmers of Punjab, Banda Singh was not just a warrior, but a liberator. Yet the Mughal throne struck back with vengeance. Banda Singh was captured, paraded through Delhi, and brutally executed. But his martyrdom did not silence the Sikhs. It ignited them. His blood became the seed of a new resistance. In the chaos that followed, small Sikh war bands emerged across Punjab. These groups, known as Mizils, carved the land into 12 powerful confederacies. Each Mizil had its own chief, its own army, and its own territory. At times they fought each other, but when foreign invaders threatened Punjab, they stood united under the banner of the Khalsa. Time and again, they clashed with Afghan invader Ahmad Shah Abdali, whose repeated invasions turned Punjab into a battlefield drenched in blood. But despite devastation, the Sikhs refused to surrender. Their resilience became legendary. Out of this storm rose a young leader whose name would echo through history: Maharaja Ranjit Singh. Born in Lahore, scarred by disease, and blind in one eye, Ranjit Singh was far from the image of a mighty conqueror. Yet by 1799, he had seized Lahore and begun uniting the fractious Mysils. Under his leadership, the Sikh Empire reached its zenith. His rule was not built on fear but on inclusion. Hindus, Muslims, and Sikhs all served in his court. His army became one of the most modern in Asia, trained by European officers, armed with artillery and disciplined infantry. From Kashmir to Multan, from Peshawar to the gates of Tibet, Ranjit Singh's empire stood as a powerful shield between India and the expanding British Raj. But empires rarely outlived their founders. When Ranjit Singh died in 1839, unity crumbled. Court intrigues, betrayals, and power struggles tore apart the empire he had built. The British, ever watchful, saw their chance. The Anglo-Sikh Wars soon followed. In the First War, the Sikh army fought with unmatched courage and nearly broke the British line. But betrayal among commanders doomed them. In the Second War of 1849, the empire fell. The British annexed Punjab, and with it, the jewel of the Sikh crown, the Kainar diamond, was taken to London. The proud Khalsa army, once defenders of the Punjab, was absorbed into the British Indian Army. Sikh soldiers now fought under the Union Jack, loyal to the very empire that had conquered them. In 1857, during the Great Indian Rebellion, many Sikh regiments stood firmly by the British, earning them the reputation of a martial race in colonial eyes. And yet, even in subjugation, the Sikh spirit endured. Their gurdwaras, their scriptures, and their memory of sacrifice kept alive the flame of resistance and identity. The empire had fallen, but the story of the Sikhs was far from over. The fall of the Sikh Empire did not end the story of the Khalsa. Under the British Raj, the Sikhs became both the loyal pillar of the colonial army and, at the same time, the sharp edge of rebellion. Across the globe, Sikh migrants carved out new lives in Canada, the United States, East Asia, and beyond. But alongside hardship, they also carried with them a burning desire for freedom. Out of this diaspora was born the Ghadar Movement, a revolutionary network stretching from California to Hong Kong, Singapore to Shanghai. Its members were students, workers, and farmers, but most were Punjabi Sikhs. Their mission was clear: to spark a global rebellion against British rule in India. When the First World War erupted in 1914, the Ghadarites saw their chance. Leaders like Jawala Singh, a potato farmer from California, returned to Punjab to ignite mutiny. They raided police stations, distributed stolen wealth among the poor, and called on soldiers to turn against their colonial masters. But the soil of Punjab was not yet ready to burn. While the Ghadarites shouted for revolution, Gandhi and the Indian National Congress urged loyalty to Britain, hoping wartime service would earn India self-rule. Tens of thousands of Sikh soldiers were already on distant battlefields, from the deserts of the Middle East to the blood-soaked cliffs of Gallipoli. Their bravery inspired Punjab's youth far more than tales of racial discrimination in North America. The rebellion fizzled. German attempts to smuggle weapons to the Ghadar party were intercepted. By 1915, most leaders were jailed or executed. The mutiny had failed, yet the spark had been lit. For the first time in decades, Sikh loyalty to the Raj was shaken. The seeds of resistance had been sown, seeds that would soon blossom in the Akali movement.